Oh, hello, and welcome to Al Dente Rigamortis. I'm Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
And we're here to discuss those internet stories, most creepy and most pasta, and be critically silly doing it. And tonight we have The Visitor from Curtisville, chapters 10, 11, and 12. So on our penultimate episode of The Visitor from Curtisville, and of course, this one is by MM Pratt 99. You can check out their work as well as the story on Creepypasta.wiki. And I suppose we should just kind of dive back into the Curtisville stories here. Dive back into the chapters.
Mm-hmm.
With the rundown.
Otherwise, we'll never be done ever.
No, never.
Granted, we'll never ever be done reading creepypastas anyways, because it's going to happen. Like, we're going to be reading them until we die.
Yeah, yes, clearly.
Either through anomalous means or otherwise.
Yep. Again, if I have to die, I want to die immersed in creepypasta.
Mm-hmm.
So, onto the rundown. So, chapter 10 opens with Kess back at Moon Agate Beach, abruptly meeting Megra's little brother Gulliver, who proceeds to freak her out with his pet hell centipede scarf to the point she faints. That's when the Hogan's Gap police show up and shut down the beach, declaring a curfew as something appears to be going on in town. Also, Ellery reveals that her zombie-like appearance was all a disguise, and that she is no longer afraid of Lolly McLaren. We then return to Grandma Esme's home in Terrapin Junction, where Tulagok tries a spell to get treasure, but accidentally summons the Rose Prince. Following a panicked Harry the dog, back upstairs, Tulagok is grabbed by something, but manages to shift into a cat and flee upstairs to safety. Kiki, back up in her room, hearing the ominous commotion downstairs, opens the bedroom door, allowing Harry and Tulagok to slip in. Grandma Esme arrives, and the truth of the situation downstairs gets revealed, and then Grandma Esme begins looking for some means of magical protection, which shocks the girls. Meanwhile, downstairs, the Rose Prince laughs at the overheard idea of confronting him and catching him, and decides to tidy up the mess in the kitchen, write a French pun next to the book and mirror on a notepad, before petting one of Grandma Esme's many cats. Chapter 11, Kess wakes up to a very different landscape. One of rust-cloudy skies with dragon-like beasts flying overhead and fields of long grass and thickets. It's here she encounters 3 demon siblings. But as they are toying with her, she manages to flee to one of the said thickets to hide, just as a terrible dragon descends upon the demonic trio. Back at Terrapin Junction, the Churka girls get a brief history lesson on their grandpa's magical talents, or at least like his dabbling, and after donning some dubious protection talismans, plan to go downstairs, face whatever it is that Tulagok summoned, and figure out how to tell authorities about it.
Hang on a second. Before you continue, can I just say that the Churka Girl sounds like a pop band of some kind?
It does, doesn't it?
It really does. Please continue.
Okay. If they manage to catch it at all. Tulagok's gonna be in so much trouble after this. In chapter 12, we return to Kess in that hellscape, where it turns out the dragon is the dad of the 3 demons, and he's wondering, rather angrily, why they are goofing off and not doing their job of watching over the Fool's Gate Bridge into Fairy, and why they didn't kill a certain otaku girl for crossing between the realms. The trio, cowering from Dad, explain that they couldn't touch her on account of a trinket she held, and the fact that she is infested with glitter lice, which are disgusting and eating away at her. The dragon lets out a terrible, disgusted roar before having his children transform themselves into dragons and fly off into the sky to parts currently unknown. Then Kess wakes up with a splash of iced tea just as Megra arrives among the throng of onlookers around the previously unconscious Kess with smelling salts in hand. Once again, we return to Grandma Esme's house where the Churka girls, TM.
Damn right. You can't
Um,
unhear that now, right?
No, I can't. Yeah, and you know what's sad is I because of recent media, I now just picture them as a K-pop band.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured as much. Agreed.
Yeah. So yeah, where the Tricker girls have gone, they end up going downstairs to confront whatever it is, and they find no one but the cats. The note with the French pun and a tidy kitchen. The chapter ends with them nervously checking about the house in case the demon is still around. Finn, till chapters 13 and 14, the finale. So yeah, that was chapters 10, 11, and 12 of The Visitor from Curtisville. A lot of back and forth between three different things.
Spoilers, that's been happening the whole time.
Yeah, it really has, but this, yeah, and this one particularly was just it was just as I was reading, it was just whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think it's because every time it's jumping, there's a lot of stuff happening each time.
Yeah.
Where previously it was kind of more chill on the different things that's happening.
Yeah.
But now it's all coming to a head, right?
Yeah, before it did feel like there was a little bit more there's a little bit more breathing room, like you said. A little bit more almost the transitions weren't as fast paced, weren't as shotgun blasting.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's a good segue for the Grammar Inquisition. So I'm sorry. Everyone tolerates the Grammar Inquisitions at this point. And yeah, I've got a couple. Let's start with chapter 10, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
So Gulliver shrugged as a couple of cybergoths hauled the limp girl up and gently carried her through the crowd. So previously, Gulliver's nickname is Gully by Megra. So I feel like in quotes, Gulliver should actually be Gully.
Which Gulliver? The Gulliver with 2 L's or the one with 1 L?
Yeah, there's also that. Yeah, the one in quotes is also Gulliver with 1 L versus Gulliver with 2 L's. Which so it's what's going on here? I think this should just be Gulliver Gully, shrugged as yeah.
Yes.
But I'll move on to the next thing I have here. But there was nothing in the moonlit silence of the downstairs to indicate that a small child might to watching. So I think that last bit should be that a small child might be watching. Then the next thing I have here. Just she reached the fourth step, a cold hand closed around her ankle. Again, I think it should be just as she reached the fourth step.
Yes.
Next one. It's probably standing outside the door this very minute, waiting for one of use to open it. So unless it's trying to go with this very minute, waiting for one of yous to open it, I think it should be one of us to open it.
It might be use though.
Well, it's also use as in actually the word use, to use thing. So it's not use guys.
Yeah.
But I'll move on to the next one. If it ate grandma and us, someone would find out about it sooner or later. I just don't see how could it have gotten out. So I feel like it should be, I just don't see how it could have gotten out.
Mm-hmm.
So I emphasized the wrong word in my correction.
Oh, okay.
So I had it's how it could have, not, but it is already in that word, in that sentence. So.
Gotcha.
And my next one here. If what you're saying's true, and there's really is a monster from beyond lurking downstairs, then I think it's up to us to stop it before it trashes the neighborhood. So early on in that sentence, there's I think it should be and there is, or and there really is a monster from beyond. Like get rid of the S at the end of there.
Mhm.
And then my next one. So this is a little bit more complex of a grammar inquisition thing I have here, but I'll just dive into it. He went over the last two phrases in his mind. Catch it. Despite being startled by the sudden transformation of his prey into a ferocious grizzly bear and then a large orange cat, the Rose Prince snickered. That Changer Girl's question of how to catch an eldritch entity like him suddenly struck him as hilarious. Wait, is that what it meant from earlier? And this is the quote from earlier that kind of confused me, or that I was like kind of I was struggling with. Desperately, she summoned up all the strength she had left and charged. A distant racket from downstairs woke Kiki. So I read that initially and I was like, okay, and I guess she's going to charge the creature. And then later on, when Kiki like goes to the door and opens it up, and then like Harry comes at like Harry the dog like swoops into her, and then there's a cat behind her, and then suddenly the cat is like transforms into Tilagok. So I was like, wait, so Tilagok has transforming powers? When did this happen? Like, not it wasn't mentioned any time after before this. But then we get this part with the Rose Prince later, with like how apparently Tilagok changed into a grizzly bear and then into an orange cat.
Would have
So
loved to see that.
yeah, well, yeah, but like I think like a quick like a fix to this, like easy fix like that. I mean, you could obviously there could be some more like added on of like that actual sequence of her changing and stuff of that. But a quick fix, I feel, is actually changing. So going back to the first bit where it's like desperately she summoned all the strength she had left and changed, and then a distant racket from downstairs will Kiki, and then
Instead
we
of
get like later,
charged.
yeah, and then like later we'll get like, oh, she changed into the grizzly bear, which is why Kiki thought there was a grizzly bear downstairs, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, because
And
when
then
I
that,
read charged, I assumed like she charged the staircase to like AKA run the hell away from it.
yeah, exactly. That's what I thought as well. But
Hmm.
it seems like it was more like no, she changed. Yeah, so I think it's just a simple typo for this part. Or there needs to be, and obviously like I would like to see some more. Like I would have loved to have seen more of an action sequence here of like Tilagok changing into a grizzly bear to like fend off against the Rose Prince for a second, and then and then immediately change into a cat to run up the stairs.
Yeah,
But
because the way I saw it when it happened was she like stumbled out of the chair, like fell on her face, and then ran away and stumbled over like a coffee table, fell on her ass, and then stumbled
Yeah.
over something else and broke things. And that was the entirety of the chase, is just her like flailing, trying to get away.
yeah, and then
Meanwhile,
like
apparently she was shape changing.
yeah, and then like just as she gets up the stairs, like something grabs her ankle, and then she's like, "Oh shit, I gotta charge!" And like, well, the story's like, it's like, "All right, I've got to charge." And I immediately thought like she was gonna like one final push to like try and like break free of that hold, but really it's like she was changing to confront whatever it was and then get away. But
Well, with that one, she probably changed into the cat, so like her leg is super small, so she can slip out of the grip and run away.
except it says that she changed into a ferocious grizzly bear first, and then into a large orange cat.
Oh yes, okay.
So, but yeah, like otherwise, like yeah, if it had just been like changed instead of charge, then like the whole cat situation, like and then like her suddenly shifting from a cat to a churka girl, um, would have made a little bit more sense to me. Like
Mhm.
it wouldn't have come out of the blue,
Yeah, for sure.
because I was like left like literally like seriously that whole portion. There's a whole portion of the story. Of this scene that confused me as to like what was going on, and like I I just feel like that typo needs to be corrected, and like maybe a little bit extra, but mostly that typo needs to be fixed
Yeah.
to like clarify. But that's all I've got for chapter 10. So, Mikey, do you have anything except for conjunction junction?
I have one for chapter 10.
Okay.
Then, as if rebuffed by the noise and bright firelight, the fog shrank back several dozen paces before its tendrils in the direction of the town.
Oh,
So it's easily fixed by adding moved.
Yeah.
So the fog shrank back several dozen paces before its tendrils moved in the direction of the town.
True. Also, we just needed shadow somewhere in that sentence for it to be shadow, fog, and firelight.
Oh,
the title of the initial the title of the first story that we read that was in fact chapter 1 of this story.
yes.
So
close.
so close yet so far. But yes, I think I recall like noticing that, but forgetting to like mention that one. That like the tendril should have moved in the direction of the town. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And-
Gamer, do you have anything? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's all I have for chapter 10.
Okay. And Gamer, do you have anything for chapter 10?
Yeah, I got one left. Ellery, who had been sitting quietly throughout all the excitement, finally spoke. Sounds like a curfew to me. What you'd mean a curfew? I didn't notice that. That was kind of weird. Sorry. What you'd mean a curfew? A thoroughly confused Megara turned to Ellery and gasped, "Hey, what the frack? You're no zombie." "I didn't say I was." An entirely different Ellery replied as she pulled off her stringy haired wig and then the loose arm bandages. So when I read this, I was very confused when this happened, mainly because like the way it's set up, it's reaction and then reveal, which seems strange to me. Because I was like, for what reason is Megara like making this accusation of her not being a zombie? And then like the next line, it tells me why. Because like personally, the way I would do it, I would prefer having the removal of the wig and the bandages first, and then have the reaction of her saying that, and then Ellery saying like I didn't say I was after that, because it just kind of seems disjointed otherwise.
Yeah, I could go with that. Yeah. And then that's also like closer to like the next thing that she's going to say, which is I'm not afraid of Lolly McLaren anymore.
Yeah, which I don't get.
I think so. I actually have this in my actual thoughts, like this, like that exact spot. Do you want me to bring it up now, or should I? Wait?
Sure. Unless you want to read that quote again later.
Okay, so yeah, like the whole thing is like, yeah, so like I was like, well, actually, honestly, like, you basically gave my first quote like word for word, like, and
Yeah.
then, like I'm no longer afraid of Lolly McLaren, and to which I was like, Jacuz! Like, what the hell? This is kind of an interesting reveal, but like the whole like disguise, like it turns out it's a disguise and like the proclamation.
Yeah, but
And
for what purpose? Like,
it made me wonder if perhaps, and this is me just speculating because again, like, as we've read the story up till now, maybe Ellery, like the reason why she disguised herself as some kind of zombie creature or some of that, going into like Hogan's Gap, was so that she wouldn't be recognizable by Lolly if she followed her to Hogan's Gap or what have you, or if she bumped into Lolly. And then maybe she thinks the curfew thing and like that all that stuff is like, oh, like Lolly's been like something, Lolly's in trouble in Fairy or something like that. Like maybe for some reason that we don't really have an explanation for yet, Ellery knows that Lolly is like behind like the curfew issue or the situation that's going on in town, and that's why like there's curfew and stuff.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or like maybe her disguise was also just to get extra sympathy.
Yeah, because that's kind of what it was, to be honest. Because like honestly, it's because like if you read the first chapter as part of the story that we read like a few years back, the Shadow, Fog, and Firelight, it really does feel like, oh, like this girl has been like cursed by Lolly or something like that, or like something bad has happened to her as a result of Lolly. But now that's like revealed that like that is all just a disguise. Again, it makes her feel more like the villain.
She honestly is at this point.
Yeah.
Like, unless these last two chapters like
Change.
really throw Lolly under the bus, I don't think Lolly's a villain.
Yeah, at the very least, she's like an
She's a
unwitting
victim.
Yeah, she's a tragic victim to this whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the thing. Like, that's the best I was able to come up with like the reveal that like Ellery was not a zombie, or not actually like afflicted as badly as she was like putting on.
Which brings into question the validity of her story in the first place, because she was already lying.
Yeah. Like, well, again, we already kind of like talked about this in like the previous episodes of like how like her story is just from her point of view, and so like that's why it's coming off so like mean
Yep.
to Lolly. So
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's all I got for grammar.
all right. Then on to chapter 11. I only have one for this one. The taller of the three was dressed in lab attire. I think it should actually be lab attire.
Oh, that's how I read it.
Yeah, no, it's entire, like entire in the sentence. So
Oops.
yeah, but that's all I've got for chapter 11. So Mikey, these 10s for you.
I'm good.
Gamer,
I'm bad.
damn it.
But no, I have none.
Okay, moving on to chapter 12. I've got 3. Starting with this one here. She wondered what exactly did those demon twerps do earn the murderous ire of this beast. I think this should be, did those demon twerps do to earn the murderous ire? Blah, 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 blah.
Agreed.
Yep. And then the next one. Their robes, legging, hats, and gloves were all made of black leather. So I think that legging should also be plural because I don't think everyone's just wearing one set of leggings.
Oh, did it say legging?
Yeah, it's like their robes, legging, hats, and gloves.
Yeah, probably.
Simple mistake, simple typo. Like, yeah, but that's why we're here in the Grammar Inquisition.
That's why people tolerate us.
Yes, that's what we're known for. That's why we're famous for our Grammar Inquisition.
Quote unquote, sure.
That's why people. That's how people know of us, according to Reddit.
Yeah, apparently.
Moving on to the last thing I have here. Presumably by the same person, and then in brackets, if you can it a person, end bracket, who tidied up the mess and took away the tome and the looking glass. So, I think in that bracketed space it should be if you can call it a person.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, I had this note as well.
Mm-hmm.
To further talk about this sort of whole area is like the transition from them preparing to go downstairs to being downstairs is non-existent. It's like at the end of the previous time that we were with them, it seemed like it's a big deal for them to go out of that like bedroom to head downstairs.
Yeah.
But like the next one starts and they're already down there and they've already deemed the room safe enough to snoop around. So like the whole like tense situation of them going down to possibly confront this thing was just not there.
It'd be like if like, oh, there's like in like a cop movie or cop show, the SWAT team's like preparing to like break into a house that has like a hostage situation, and then we cut to commercial, and then at the end of the next commercial, like after the commercial ends and like come back to the show, they've broken, they're inside and they're like my god, like it looks
They
like
already have them arrested.
yeah, they already have them arrested. They're just going through like the investigation. Like,
Yeah, basically. There's
like,
blood everywhere.
Like, what did we
Casings all over the
miss?
place. Yeah.
Yeah, no, exactly.
So like for me, just like something to like start this off, just to give us a little bit of a transition. Like after a quiet and careful trek down the stairs, they found the house is as it used to be, not the trampled mess that Tulagok left it like. To which she asked, what happened? There was a mess down here. Like even it just that was said, and that's like, great, okay, fine. There's no mess anymore. Start then now you can snoop.
Yeah.
It just seemed weird how sudden it was.
Mm-hmm. No, agreed. But yeah, that's all I've got for chapter 12. So Mikey, do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Gamer.
You got both of mine.
All right. Then do we have a conjunction junction there, Mikey?
We do.
All right. And next stop, conjunction junction. Doot, doot.
Chapter 10. Through a Glass Brightly. It reminded her of a famous portrait by John van Eyck in 1435, towards the end of the medieval period, showing a rich nobleman and his wife dressed in the typical fashion of the day. So, what's going on? And what were you trying to do? It was only a little prank, sis, and it's not like she's an ambassador or a princess. And then I'll be sad, and I will cry, and then you'll be grounded and have to attend group counseling with spoiled wannabe babies and Disney princesses.
Oh, Gully's really
And
talking back to Mega right here.
Jesus Christ.
and that's where you're wrong, twerp. 1 Terrapin Junction, Zelmac District of Hogan's Gap, 10:38 p.m. But there was nothing in the moonlit silence of the downstairs to indicate that a small child might to watching.
Yeah, might be watching. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the grammar Inquisition issue. Yeah.
It felt it felt cool and slippery like a dew frozen on a spider's web, and there were sparks of blue light that made her think of falling diamonds. It was now blank and had the same color and brilliance as a burned out light bulb. It must have been her imagination. So why was she smelling the stuff? It was attached to a long, tube-like arm, and there was even more arms squirming around. It held her fast like a snare. It sounded like a bear. It better just be a bad dream. It's no dream, you dolt. And don't you start that nonsense about seeing ghosts and demons in every corner. But we would have seen it. It's probably standing outside the door this very minute, waiting for one of yous to open it. It's here. It's going to eat us all. It's all Tullagak's fault. It was like I was hypnotized. But how? But put together. It's anamorphosis. But the only turning wheel thing I know of is the Ferris wheel. And the mirror? It's in the glass bin. So, how do you propose we catch it? So, how do you propose to catch it? Chapter 11.
Like she corrected her own grammar there.
Okay. Chapter 11. Journey Among Mysteries. It was too much. So many thoughts scrambled themselves to the surface in panic that a thin film of perspiration began to form on her brow and upper lip. But nothing was visible except the moonlight flickering between the clouds and the waves of wind rolling through the long, whispering grass. But don't worry, Perdue chat. It was a gynandromorph split down the middle into male and female halves. Its voice, like a glass bell, was soft and chiming, and Kess felt herself go a little weak at the sound of it. And her manners. It just makes you sick. It cleared its throat unhappily. Its lantern-like eyes glowered as it surged forward to the trio still in the throes of side-splitting hysterics.
So I think that might have been glowered.
Yeah, glowered, yeah.
One Terrapin Junction, Zelmac district of Hogan's Gap, 10:48 p.m. But Grandpa, being a wizard and possessing a much keener snout for magical scent, vouched for their reliability. So these talismans might work? It's the book monster, and it's coming this way. But when I left the mirror, but no more sounds came. It's Felina. It was nothing but a cat, she thought. Just a wretched cat. It's
Rude.
like the ending to a really lame ghost story. It's got those moraths inside. And if we do catch it, what do I tell the authorities? Or, for that matter, your parents? Chapter 12, in which Cass Allenthal learnt several interesting things. It hissed like an overheated boiler. Its snarl curved into a wide, menacing leer. It then flicked its tail at the gynandromorph, catching the creature in a choking embrace. It studied them for a few more minutes before continuing. But what do I find instead? And what could this fool's gate be? Or fool's gate be? And as the speakers went on, Cass began to feel dizzy and sick to her stomach. But you didn't, even though you should have killed her the minute you knew what she really was. A Sihonor. And now this filthy flesh vessel of stolen lives is in the other reaches of Erebus. And what would that be? And they were eaten alive. It promptly dropped the boy, then quickly released the gynandromorph. But then suddenly, the dragon threw back its massive head and howled. It echoed across the grassy knoll and hillock. It poured into the thick brush of the thicket. And then someone else replied, no, quite the opposite. One Terrapin Junction, Zelmac district of Hogan's Gap, 11:23 p.m. So that thing's a pun? But I mean to find out. Finn.
So that thing's a pun, but I plan to find out what the fuck that pun is.
Honestly, yeah. I don't even understand the fun.
I have it in my actual thoughts because I as soon as I looked it up, I was like, oh fuck. That's so I hate puns.
I must know now. I would
I'll,
like to know
I'll,
more.
I'll let you know at the end of the actual thoughts.
Damn it. I gotta wait
It
until actual
explained
thoughts.
the pun.
Yeah, you just have to
Not
wait.
very well, clearly, because I don't understand.
You'll
Well,
find out. Yeah.
You clearly didn't read it out loud.
Yeah. Fuck it. I'll just tell it now, I guess. So, yeah. So, because it's like, so, it's so the French of it is where is it here? My notes. En France,
I get it now.
yeah, hang on. Attack this suis pas need. And then the translation is, in France, cats attack birds. N'est-ce pas? So the French expression n'est-ce pas, pronounced n'est-ce pas, is what grammarians call a tag question. It's a word or short phrase that is tagged onto the end of a statement to turn it into a yes or no question. It is a question added to a declarative sentence to engage, verify, or confirm. So the pun is, like, in France, cats attack birds. And then, like, in the French translation, it would be paw's nest. But then they've made it so it's like nest paw, like as in like pawing the nest because of cats attack birds. So, but n'est-ce pas sounds like n'est-ce pas in French. It's a play on words. It's a play on it's a translation play on words, basically.
Yeah. I can see why none of the characters laughed at it. It's not really funny or anything.
No, it's just like it's grown. It is certainly grown worthy.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll just mark that one as done on my list, since I don't have to go through that one anymore. But yeah, There's. I feel like me and Gamer already like kind of like we're interjecting occasionally throughout that one. So like throughout that conjunction junction. So
Yeah, honestly, because like, well, first off, the reason that he does that, the conjunction, is to highlight all the sentences in a story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ands, or buts, because there's always better words to use. Except when it's dialogue, which is 3/4 of this, but that's fine.
And also, let's be fair. Let's absolutely be true to ourselves. It's also to see if we find like a funny, like out of context thing that we can laugh at.
Oh, of course, because this originated because one of the original times that he did that, the quote was, "It came at us with full force. It was a squirrel." Like that was the next "it" sentence.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and this time around, I decided to like interject during it because that's what made the original one funny. Because as soon as he said that, we laughed about it and talked about it. About the silliness of a squirrel attacking out of nowhere. Meanwhile, that has nothing to do with the story.
Yeah. So I think we should probably do that more often.
I think so. Plus, also, we don't have to like take notes and remember stuff when it's a massive it story, because there's so many sentences in the story that start with words that they probably shouldn't, like its, ands, or buts, because there's really better words to use.
Wow, just beating that dead lie corn to death.
It's ingrained in the membrane. Ingrained in my brain.
God damn. All right. Then I suppose we'll move on with that out of the way. Finally.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose we should actually move on to actual thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to
welcome those who skip to the timestamp.
Yeah, I really should do those more often than I do. So on to actual thoughts with chapter 10, Through a Glass Brightly. So I'm going to start with this one here. Kess frowned and shook her head. No, just one story and one person. Or just one story from one person, she replied, shifting uncomfortably under the intense stare. Oh, the youth nodded slowly. Is it scary? Very, purred the Gerdine. She shifted her attention to Ellery, wondering when the girl was going to finish sipping and continue her story. Again, we would like to welcome Kess to the show as our guest host. Just like, yeah, when's the story? Which, by the way, 3 chapters here that we covered today. Ellery's story just dropped. It's just dropped.
That's true.
Like,
she hasn't said a damn word.
Narratively, blatantly cut off because of a fucking like the cop showed up and shut down the beach. But yeah,
they're essentially like the tangent police showing up.
Kind of, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which is another in-joke we have. Sorry, everyone who doesn't understand.
Yeah. Because we will not be elaborating.
It's a long story. We should get on with it.
Yeah. So the next thing I have here Instead of a scarf, there was now a venomous-looking centipede curled lightly around the youth's necks. The youth's neck. Its steel armor-like segments and legs were of a vibrant red, orange, and purple. Immediately, it reared up like a cobra, watching her with tiny, insatiably curious eyes. Kess stared at the youth as he fondly stroked his repulsive pet. "That's my familiar, Celia," he exclaimed cheerfully. "I found her in the park outside the Bartleshoff Arms Hotel. She was eating a dove." So, connective tissues time.
But did you also find a giant centipede?
No.
And
But
eat a dove?
I recently finished watching the Owl House TV series. And I just realized that this whole like beachside fire gathering with like different kids of like fantastical origin and this like familiar creature that this kid has around his neck like a pet that is something that would be right at home in the Boiling Isles. Just witch and demon teens hanging out with their fantastically mundane whimsy.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just like definitely had like that mood of like, especially after like the last week where I was like watching, and like where I finished the Owl House cartoon.
Yeah,
Honestly,
is it Owly the name of the house? The house
it's
creature?
No, it's Hootie.
Oh, Hootie, yeah.
It's your faithful pal Hootie reporting for duty. Yeah, no, it's honestly go check out the Owl House, folks. It's a good show.
Mm-hmm.
It's a really good show. But I digress. I'll move on to the next thing here. "Hey, what's all this about?" The Vinegaroon asked her equally shocked brother. So this isn't the first time that that Megra and her brother have been called a Vinegaroon in the story. So I guess it's not. I guess they are Vinegaroons, not Gorgons, but like maybe just the Gorgon is like because of the hair situation.
Yeah,
Like
they're
that was
Gorgon-esque.
yeah, there's more of a descriptor than an actual like name for them. Also, kind of an interesting thing. I looked up like Vinegaroon, and it's not a folklore creature, but it's another name for whip scorpions or urupgi or urupige, or uropygi, Uropygi, but more commonly known as the whip scorpion. So it's
Or
interesting
hair
that, like,
tentacles are like whippy kind of like attacky things, so
yeah, maybe that's why they're known as the Vinegaroon. But
Mhm.
but it's interesting that like M. Pratt chose the name of an actual like common or like of a creature like in real life as the racial name for these people.
I mean, it works because not many people know that name, I'm sure.
True. And speaking of M. Pratt and her proclivity of having weird fantastical names and words for her in her story. "What? That's it?" said Kulagak in disgust. "No shower of gold, no sparkling silk, no precious gems or porcelain, not even a mere minin? What kind of Glazerotsnats book is this? Anyway."
It's an interesting
Anyway.
insult.
Yeah, we're
expletive.
entering Farscape levels of made up words, right?
Mm,
Like what the frell is this Dren?
nice.
What's a minin? Like I literally tried to look it up, and the closest I got was minin was like a Russian like family name, like of an aristocracy or some aristocracy, like some Russian aristocracy.
Yeah, it's probably not that.
And then like I didn't even bother looking up. Oh no, I did look up Glazerotsnats, and guess what I get in Google?
This story?
Yes.
I thought so.
And on that same kind of thing, we get this quote here. "It sounded like a bear. Worse yet, it might have been a Barzinbash. No, that's silly. How could a Barzinbash break into the house without the dog finding out about it? Not unless it ate the dog." So I guess since the story is the only thing that comes up when I Google Barzinbash,
Mm-hmm.
is that it's some sort of fantasy bear equivalent.
I
Sort of like,
suppose.
maybe it's like a Bandersnatch, like which is from Alice in Wonderland. And while it's not ever really like, again, much like this story, well, a Bandersnatch is not really properly like described. The gist is that it's a giant, like burly, like bear-like beast.
Hmm. But bears also
Um,
exist here because she turns into a bear.
Yeah, she turns into a grizzly bear. They mention bears, but then there's also these Barzine Bash creatures as well. So
It's equivalent to a previous one where they were talking about deers and also those other ones that
Lycorn.
are like deers.
Yeah, the Lycorns, which is just unicorn in French.
That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked. Yeah, sure would love again. I don't say this in a bad way, but I sure would love a description of these new creatures. That I only have fantasy names for, like for context, or a lore Bible.
Yeah.
Not to beat a dead Lycorn.
Nice.
Yeah, you get it because like a Lycorn's a unicorn. I
I get it.
Like,
hence why I said nice.
Yeah. Cool. I
we
understand
all got it. Called this. We
I
all
understand that you
got
it. This is also part of the bit.
Oh, okay. Because you're beating the dead horse. I understand.
Yeah. Now beating a dead Lycorn.
Right.
Moving on. So this is when Tulagok basically gets outed and like has to deal with accidentally summoning this thing and all that kind of stuff. You brought that book and mirror, Kiki replied pointedly. Well, it's your fault too, protested Tulagok furiously. You showed me how to work the blasted things. Kiki's eyes widened in horror and disbelief. Tulagok, she shrilled. You didn't. Tulagok closed her eyes and groaned. Oh, Smaruged. Sorry. Oh, Smaruged, she thought. Slip of the tongue. She was really in for it now. Tears and screams from Kiki, words of condemnation from Grandma and the folks, plus 16 months of community service and a one-way trip to Red Wing Re-Education Center for wayward juveniles. Oh, and there's that ectoplasmic menace lurking downstairs, getting ready to entangle them and eventually the world in its creepy cold tentacles. So like reading this part is like, man, this is very Little Fears coded. Like worrying about the mundane repercussions and punishments that you're going to suffer for like summoning some horror thing.
Yeah.
Oh, and also the imminent cosmic horror of said thing in the same breath.
Yeah, that's secondary though.
Yeah. It's like I think like there's at the back of like the Little Fears book, it's like there's like a little like a post-it note sort of like thing like for flavor. It's like, dear mom, out hunting monsters. Be back before dinner. And like that's the vibe I'm getting from like Tulagok and Kiki and like just the situation here. It's just like, oh man, I'm gonna be so grounded. Oh yeah, the world might also end because I summoned this demon thing.
Yeah. We're gonna lose my phone privileges.
Oh man. I'm not gonna be able to go. I'm not gonna be able to go to the fair.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of the eldritch horror that she summoned and such, we get the Rose Prince downstairs in the kitchen. Picking up the fallen pencil and notepad, he carefully wrote out a few lines, emphasizing every fancy loop and curl. And then it's En France, le chat, the cats attack birds pun. Guys, we're Canadian, but like I don't know French.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't read French very well, so bear with us.
Bandersnatch with us, or whatever it was.
yeah. But hang on, where is it? Barzine Bash with us.
Yes.
But continuing on with this, so the Rose Prince burst out in hysterical cackles, thoroughly enjoying the joke. In the next instant, every spilled and scattered object snapped back to where it had once been before the treasure spell screw up. So this eldritch boogeyman creature, this demon prince, as it were, is surprisingly polite and jovial. So like, all right, I'll give you a few points that you lost from being a total creeper on Kess earlier. Like you've got a little bit of like charisma here. You got a little bit more. You've got a little bit of panache and like
He's
some
got some
charm.
riz, as the kids
I
say
was
these days.
avoiding that, but yeah, he's got some riz. He's got he's polite, you know, he's jovial and he's polite. Like he cleaned up the mess and then like left a little pun
Mhm.
that he apparently found it incredibly funny.
Yep.
But yeah, just like all right, you know, you get a couple points back for after you know, being almost ruined by how like teenishly pervy you were
Mhm.
earlier. Especially after like being hyped up as like, oh, the Rose Prince, like the seventh child of the Gray Man, like even worse than the Gray Man. And it's like,
And then it cuts to him, and he's like, "I want to date a gherkin."
oh man, gherkins are so kawaii.
Gurdin, I believe. Not
Yeah,
gherkin.
not
Gherkins
gherkins.
are pickles.
yeah, gurdens. Yeah, it's like, oh man, gurdon. I wish I could have a girding girlfriend. like
Mhm.
fingers, like just like touching, like.
Yeah.
Oh god, like that was the vibe I got last chapter, like the previous chapters, and now like he got a few points back because of that, because of how like polite and jovial he was in this one.
Yeah,
So,
he recovered a little bit.
yeah. But I'll move on to the next thing. Bonsoir, mon petit chéri, ma belle fleur. Told you I was terrible at French.
I'm glad you're going through these and not me.
Said an all too familiar voice. A slender hand gently stroked the cat behind the ear. Despite herself, Felicia made herself comfortable in the crook of an elbow and began to purr. So the translation to that French, I poorly pronounce, I'm sure. Good evening, my little darling, my beautiful fur. Now that I'm realizing it's like he's like really like he's like really a cat lover here.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I just suddenly remembered, right, he likes gurdons.
Yep.
It's like, okay, maybe that has something to do with like the fact that like because this eldritch horror is also a cat lover. Also, of course, an eldritch horror is a cat lover. That's all I got. That's the bit.
Yeah, okay, fair. I was waiting for more, but that's fine.
No, yeah. Something, cats are all evil.
How, I mean, you're not totally wrong.
Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong, gamer. Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah. They're mischievous. They're little gremlins.
Yeah, they just don't care. Yeah, they've got. This does also come from somebody who's absolutely a dog person. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
I'm
that's
a human being.
But that's all I've got for chapter 10. So
It's the best when you don't even acknowledge it. You just give a sigh.
so Mikey, these sets for evil. What do you have for chapter 10?
Well, this is in line with the transformations and such. And it's just in general that I, for one, didn't really notice the transformations.
Well, they didn't happen.
Yeah, they didn't happen. That's why.
Yeah.
In the written word, they didn't happen. They happened in the story, but we did not see them.
Yeah.
So, like, it, I didn't even get the insinuation that they happened type thing, or that the people could transform. So,
No, yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier. Like,
yeah.
I found out when Kiki found out that Tulagok turned into a cat. That's when I found out.
I don't think Kiki realized it. I think the orange cat slipped in with Harry the dog into the room, went under the bed, and then Tulagok transformed from the cat under the bed so that she could then like try and put up the
ruse.
Try and keep the ruse up that she was sleeping.
Yes, but Kiki realized that, wait, we don't have an orange cat, and then immediately went up to see if she's still in bed, and then saw that it was just like it was a dummy set up there.
Yeah.
And then immediately yelled at her for turning into a cat.
Yeah, and I was like, that was, I think all of us were like, what the fuck? When did she turn? When did she transform into a cat? When did she have the power to turn into a cat?
Which means that she's always had that power because she was not surprised that she turned into a cat. Yeah.
But again, we went through this of like that one word would have fixed this entire thing.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for chapter 10.
Okay. Gamer.
Just one moment. Chapter 10. Where are we? Chapter 10, that's where we are. This first one, where it says, this is at the bonfire, and it's regarding the kid that showed up just to sit between them. His choice of garb was rather strange, even though this was Humboldt County, where fashion tended to be rather eccentric. It reminded her of a famous portrait by John van Eyck at 1435, towards the end of the medieval period, showing a rich nobleman and his wife dressed in typical fashion of the day. Blah 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 blah.
Also, it's John Van Eyck.
I'm sure it is John van Eyck. John van Eyck. Regardless, I really appreciate giving like a Googleable asset to describe the visual, because what's there does a pretty good job of like explaining it without the asset, but it helps a ton seeing it.
True.
Oh yeah, this wasn't brought up yet. This is during the kerfuffle with the creature. Tulagak lunged forward, frantically trying to break free of its grasp, but to no avail. It held her fast like a snare, tightening its grip. It dragged her slowly and unerringly? It doesn't matter. Down the stairs. She struggled and clutched the banister, crying, "Let me go, let me go. I'm not going back with you. I'm not going back." She's not going back where? She like knows this creature and like is aware of it and knows it's from somewhere that she's from, I guess.
I honestly just took that as like I'm not going back down to the kitchen. like I just took it as simply as like I'm not going back downstairs.
No, it's bedtime now.
Yeah. No, like because like I'm not going back. Like I'm not going back. Like I'm not going where I just was, where I was in danger. But
I don't know, man. The wording of it seems weird. Saying like I'm not going back with you. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Like it could be taken a lot more deeper than just like I'm not going back down to the kitchen, or yeah, like. But then that asks more questions if you go that route, though. If you dig deeper with that way.
I don't know. I feel like it could just say let me go," and call it a day. The additional of I'm not going back with you sounds like this thing wants to take her back to where he came from, which is where she originally came from. Hence why she has shape-shifting powers.
True. Yeah, I guess you could just like you could probably just clean it up to fix that.
Yeah. I don't know. That was just kind of confusing to me. And also my last note.
Okay. On to chapter 11 then. Journey Among Mysteries. So let's start with this one here. So this is like the shadows that she sees, like that Kess in the hellscape place sees like behind her and such. She could just make out the outline of massive half-folded wings, numerous writhing tendrils, and what seemed like 3 fin-maned heads on long serpentine necks. And to this I was just like, King Ghidorah? from Godzilla movies. But then update later on, she turned slowly, half expecting to see a monster, maybe something similar to that 3-headed dragon from one of those old Godzilla movies. I was like, ha! I'm glad that I'm not the only one. Yeah, just like because the way it was described, and we do get it like later on, like it's sort of clarified what she saw was basically the 3 demon siblings, like basically in their dragon forms because they could turn into dragons later.
Yeah, and they were just standing close to each other.
Yeah, which makes the whole thing really confusing because you start off thinking it's all one mass, and then the character saying, "Oh yeah, it's like expecting to see the monster from a Godzilla movie or whatever." So that's still what you're expecting, and then it's like, okay, well, they're actually separate entities. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Because think of it. Imagine being the guy who's trying to keep track of all the characters and write them all down with descriptions. And having to erase repeatedly.
Dude, I've got you there. I've got you covered in a second.
Oh, do you?
Well,
what do you mean you got me covered?
You are going to be seen, sir.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it's like I don't think it's the next one or so, but like I've like later in my notes I have something similar to that.
Okay.
Or something akin to your character note taking. But Anyway, I'll move on to the next thing I have here. What do you mean, gammon de Rus? The gynandromorph. God, okay. Here's a question. With the amount of use of gynandromorph in the story, when you guys were reading the story, did you just like simplify it to just like the gynon?
I called him the Guyver.
Oh, that works too. Yeah. I look, as I was reading it, because for the most part I was reading it out loud, but I was also like in my head. It was just, it's a mouthful, man. Gynandromorph.
He's a guy morph.
So I just went with the gynon. So, but yeah, the gynandromorph scowled darkly. A street urchin, incredibly ugly creature, uglier than almost anyone I had ever met. A zing, a withering leprous zing. C'est terrible. Or c'est terrible. The princeling agreed, nodding grimly. Cancer de l'olfil, and her manners, très atroce. She made even the man-eating Suarius and Cynocephali people look civilized. So as I'm like reading this part, it's like they're talking about Lolly, aren't they?
Yep.
Of course, it's someone disgusting in the story. Who do you think it is? There's only one disgusting person in this whole universe.
Yeah, no, legit. And then like, man, even demonic things from hell are disgusted by her. Rough.
Yeah. As soon as they bring up that she has like the lice, even the king dragon guy's like, and he leaves.
To be, it's totally like
leaves at that moment.
It's totally like that too. I definitely thought that. But like. Back to like the actual story, like at least we actually get like some like lore about to like what is killing her, or what is eating away at her, which I did really enjoy. I was glad that we actually were getting some exposition there, but I'll tackle that a little bit later.
Didn't she originally call them like Glimmer something originally when they were first brought up?
Maybe
Sparkle
they were,
something?
yeah, sparkle lice or glitter lice. Yeah, I think glitter lice was something that was brought up.
Yeah.
But I'll move on to the next thing I have here. Kess shrank back against the furthest end of the thicket, her eyes searching the thickly tangled brush for possible escapes, possible exits of escape. Her heart pounded in her throat. Great. Now I'm never going to get the chance to hear the second half of Ellery's story. Yes, that's the takeaway here.
Yeah, I mean, it gets worse.
But also... Same, Kess.
Yeah.
Are we ever going to get the second half of Ellery's story?
I don't know. If we've seen half of it by chapter 10, I don't think we're going to get the other half by chapter 12.
Yeah, not unless like they devote like all of chapter like 12 or like chapter 13 and 14 to that story.
I don't know. The position of the scroll bar says otherwise.
Yeah, no, really does. But yeah, I just love that. It's like, oh, great. No, I'm never going to hear that story. It's like, really?
And also die.
Yeah, also die. Again, it's up there with Tulagok. It's like, man, I'm going to be so grounded. Oh, yeah, also the world's probably going to get consumed by some eldritch horror.
Mm-hmm. It does make them feel more like kids.
Yeah.
Which needs to happen more because, as we, and specifically Mikey, has said multiple times, they feel like teenagers most of the time.
We do get confirmation that Kess in this story, Kess is 16. So, but yeah, like the other kids, like I assumed were like 13 and 12, like Kiki and Tulagok, like kind of got that impression. But, moving on to the next thing I have here. Actually, this is Tulagok. This is another Tulagok scene. So, I can't believe it, cried Kiki. I can't believe we got scared over a cat. It's like the ending of a really lame ghost story. Better a cat than what I saw, said Tulagok quietly. Honestly, and this is the aftermath of some lead up where like there's footsteps coming toward the door and like and they think it's the creature like climbing up the stairs and stuff like that. And I pegged it almost immediately as like that's gonna be the cat. Like
me too. Me too. Honestly,
yeah, it's gonna be a cat scare. Like like I figured it was going to be the cat, and thought, though I was after this, I was wondering if perhaps if we were going to get a double fake out, and the cat is now the Rose Prince in disguise.
That's what I also thought was going to happen.
And an update that remains to be seen.
Yes.
We don't know if the
That cat's been compromised.
Yeah, if the cat's been compromised, or if like the Rose Prince literally just like fucked off.
Yeah.
and went to go deal with another part of the story.
Because the way I'm viewing it ever since like that cat came back to them is like the Rose Prince is hearing everything that's happening if he's like possessed that cat.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was like he picked it up and was like petting it and so it's like again like he's not like it's an eldritch horror that's just like, oh yes, good kitty. But like, was it just like, I love cats, I am evil, or was it like, yes, kitty, thank you, just like transforms into it or like possesses the cat?
Mm-hmm.
Is the cat in fact a Trojan cat?
It might be.
Yeah. But yeah, that's all I've got for chapter 11. So, Mikey,
I'm good.
Gamer.
I'm good.
All right.
Because there's all the stuff where I said, yes, same.
Yeah, no. I love how we're all on the same page, but because story and
I don't get it.
chapter 12, in which Kess Ellenthal learned several interesting things.
Which is the best title for a chapter.
Also, in which we learned several interesting things.
Yeah.
So what I was talking about earlier, I believe, shit, now I can't remember what it was that I was thinking of. That you were like you were about to bring up, and then I was like, wait, no, hang on, I got you. Yes, the thing where
I need to be
up,
seen.
Yeah, you're about to be seen, sir.
Am I?
So, starting with this quote here. The Gynandromorph started groveling and kowtowing like mad. Finally, it burst out, "Please, father, don't hurt us." Kess's jaw dropped in disbelief. Father? Honestly, I thought these three demons were perhaps three of the children of the Gray Man that was mentioned earlier, and like also like maybe the siblings of the Rose Prince kind of thing. You know, like one of those other demon princes or whatever. You know, some characters mentioned earlier, not more new characters to be added to the roster that Gamer has been building.
We need more.
Characters for the character list.
Yeah, honestly, I'm up to 60.
Oh my god!
I like considering the next recording is going to be a little shorter because it's just the last two. I'm tempted to read the first three again just to speed through it and try to see if there's any additional characters to have an accurate list.
You should do it, and then we need to I want to hear that entire list.
Oh, I have to read it. Great. I will.
All right, thank you. But yeah, no, like I was like, and like maybe they are, like maybe this dragon is the Gray Man or something like that, but like it really doesn't like feel like it. It feels like they're just three other demons that were like supposed to like watch over that bridge while the fairy guardians went on vacation.
Yeah, I mean the huge dragon could be the Gray Man because the dragon's gray.
Oh, you're right. Fuck. Son of a bitch! You're right. I just realized that. Yeah, no, you're right. I remember reading at the end, like, oh yeah, the gray dragon like flew up after his children. So it's like, fuck. Yeah, you're totally right. It totally could be like that's his demon form.
Yeah, but until otherwise, he's a separate character for the list.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And actually, as we were talking about, I was just saying like how like they were supposed to be watching that bridge for the Guardians while they were on holiday. We do get here's the quote from that. It's like, I give you one simple task to do, one small simple task. Watch the Fool's Gate until the Guardians come back from holiday. Kill any intruders that pass through it, be they human or animal. It studied them for a few more minutes before continuing. Surely that isn't a very difficult order to follow. Okay, so this creature was like really cool, like very had a lot of like presence in this,
yes.
Like when it was talking, but I couldn't help but get like a couple of chuckles in when it's revealed that like they were the three siblings were supposed to be watching the gate because the guardians, the Ashi, which we had already established were like these horrible, like these like malevolent fae beings that like torture the guilty, went on holiday.
That is ridiculous. I thought you were going to bring up the fact that like this huge dragon is essentially just scolding these children.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
there's
like
also that.
it's also kind of silly that way. But yeah, they went on holiday. I missed that.
But like it's so whimsically dark and funny, and also so fitting for a Curtisville story, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like it works so well. I absolutely, again, like this, there's no hate here, there's no malice for me. It's like I love this. Also this
It is
kind of
fun.
explain, it does also kind of explain how Lolly made it across that bridge and didn't die.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
we actually get some like like an explanation for that.
Because yeah, we did not have clarification on that before.
Yeah. And we also get some like later on we actually get some explanation as to why they didn't like they didn't actually kill her, even though their job was tasked to do that, and they were following her apparently. But moving on to the next thing I have here in this roster of quotes from this section. Kess crouched in her hiding place, watching and listening tensely. What the frick is going on? Is this hell? And what could this fool's gate be? Nothing that could possibly concern her. But why on earth would she be here in the first place? All very good questions, guest star Kess.
Yeah.
Again, Kess being like a surrogate, our surrogate guest star in the story.
Mm.
It's like we now return to our guest star on scene in the story. Kess, it's raining sideways. Like, Kess, like we have a guest host in the story asking our questions.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, and I love it. Like I love Kess's character in the story. Just like she's just like, what's going on? I'm not from around here. Like
Mhm.
what? Like are we gonna get to the story? Like are we gonna get to the rest of the story, guys? Like what's going on?
Wish you did it more, honestly.
Yeah. Can we get this rolling?
Hmm.
But then the next thing we have here, do you mean to tell me, the dragon began with a faint hiss, that while you were chatting with this parasite, no attempt was made to seize and eliminate her? None whatsoever. All three brothers stared at the ground. We couldn't, the gynandromorph finally replied in a frightened squeak. She was carrying some kind of protection, kind of trinket. Ah, so earlier in a previous chapter, we had like when Lolly was like sitting on that stoop, and she looked across the street, and there were these like weird shadowy things that had been like stalking her, and like a guy in a gray like lab coat, that was like grimacing at her, and then like there was like a flicker of light, and they vanished. I'm guessing that's what these were that's what these creatures were, or what those things were, was that it was the three brothers.
Yeah.
So again, I'm glad we're getting some more insight on that. Like we get an explanation as to like what those things were, and we're getting it from their point of view,
Hmm.
which is, I don't know, I just think that's really cool. Like that, like the fact that we're getting it from like the point of view of the creatures that are stalking Lolly, not somebody else like saying, "Oh, they must be these things."
Yeah.
And then the next thing here, but you didn't, the dragon said, as if it was reading off a sentence of death, even though you could have killed her the minute you knew what she really was, a Scyhoner. Or as I mispronounced it when I was first reading the story, a Siphoner. Which, I'm not gonna lie, sounds way better than Scyhoner, but that's just me.
Yeah.
Like it works well like as a name for like a psychic vampire, like a Siphoner. Like that just works. Because like siphoner, as in like to siphon, but like also it's using like the PSY psi from like psychic stuff. So
Yes, I do like that.
yeah, but so at this point I was like, so wait, Lolly is some kind of psychic vampire, as mentioned way back at the start of the story. Like we have confirmation from Demon Dragon Daddy.
Don't call him daddy.
Yeah, I do what I want.
All right, fair. We at least have confirmation that she has that ability, whether that's her ability or whatever is like possessing her that's doing that,
Yeah.
because she has the voice in her head.
Yeah,
I don't
whatever
know if
made
they're one and the same.
yeah, like whatever made a deal with her for power for like to basically between like in exchange for her soul, she got some power. Maybe that's where she got that Psi-Honer ability
Yep.
is what that is, or maybe who knows? Maybe that is something that was innate to her, that was within her the whole time, and it's because again, like there are characters in the story in these stories that like they act human, but they are like another like a fantasy race, like the Chickcharney or the Chickcharney or the Churka or the Gurdine, but they're treated as regular people,
Yes.
or like they're treated in a mundane light in the story. So,
Mhm.
it could just be something about her. But it is interesting, like that we're getting this reveal that oh no, she does have something, whether that be something that she made a deal with to get, or it's something that was actually in her the whole time, and like maybe that's going to come to light in the last bit of the story. Again, I just love the idea. Psi-Honers, good name, good word. I think Siphoner is a better one, but that's me. And then moving on to the next thing here. But instead you did nothing, and now this filthy flesh vessel of stolen lives is in the other reaches of Erebus. Probably cause a major breakdown of reality due to her lucid dreaming. And to this I was like, wait, what? Like, she actually poses an existential threat to like reality and the creatures beyond the mortal world? Like Lolly? The delusional otaku girl?
Apparently. Maybe her like insane belief
I was yeah.
in the Fae realm is like extremely powerful belief magic where she can make like the whole place all kawaii and stuff.
Maybe that's why her Psi-Honer, what the Psi-Honer thing is all about. Like maybe like it's like actually like she can hone her psychic ability to like basically manifest reality,
Yeah. At the
which would
expense
be
of others.
yeah, exactly, yeah. So again, I love how we're getting this like all near the end, like near the end of the story. Like we're getting it from like this really like I love this character, this dragon dad,
Mm-hmm.
because I guess the Gray Man in demon form, which I hope that is actually like what this dragon's all about. It is actually the Gray Man just in his true demon form. But yeah. Um Next thing I have here. More exposition. um she has the bloomin' glitter dust plague, right? The chimney sweep blurted out. She were just crawling with glitter lice. Struth. And they were eating her alive. Honest, Dad. Honest, Gov. I'm not making this up, right? The dragon drew back, flashing its teeth in horror and disgust. Sorry. Because you brought it up earlier, it's like, oh my god, I can't unsee him. Just like, ugh.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Because it's also like described like it's like this horrible wrenching like roar that like crushes like the like crushes down the like the grass and like cascades across like through the thicket and like almost causes like ears to bleed and stuff.
I'm sure it's meant to be like anger though.
Yeah, no, but there's also like that disgust in it. But yeah, so yeah, I guess this also like the fact that like oh she's got like a glitter dust plague or like the glitter lice. Uh, Unless that's just like again, like sort of like, oh, we couldn't touch her because she had the trinket. Also, she's just so super gross with these like lice.
Mm-hmm.
But it made it seem like it was an explanation for like why she's like slowly decomposing.
Yeah, like they're literally eating her alive.
Yeah, because like that's why like where that putrid like black sludge is coming from. It's actually like her just sloughing bits off, I guess.
I guess.
It's interesting. Again, I like how like how much exposition we get here on like the situation, and also how the situation with Lolly, and how it's told to us from like characters that are involved, but like it's not like in a super like all right, we're going to explain everything to you straightforward. It's told in a way that's like feels natural to me anyway. like we're being told by characters that are involved in the situation,
Yeah.
but like at a but in a slightly different like way than I would expect. So I was digging it. Again, I think once I found it, I was like, oh yeah, this horrible this horrible dragon thing comes down. It's like, oh god, sorry dad. I was like, wait, that's your dad? Oh fuck.
I'm not gonna lie, when he was first mentioned, I thought that was his name, was Faja or something, or like that.
Favre?
Vaja?
Yeah.
Favre,
I-
yes.
Yeah, Favre, yeah.
I went Faja, like Austin Powers, gold
Yeah.
member.
Also, I love Kess's reaction. Like Kess's jaw dropped. Father?
Mhm. Dun dun dun.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking of that kind of thing, my last note, I think here, yeah, my last note for chapter 12 is this. So this is when Kess is like kind of coming to from like that hellscape and waking up from it. She woke up to various concerned faces hovering overhead and with cold water dripping from her head. Megra's form suddenly came into view, one gloved hand clutching a small bottle with a yellow tag. She peered down at Kess, and then scowled at the now embarrassed Cenobite goth, holding a pitcher once filled with iced tea. You didn't have to do that, she huffed. I just got the damn smelling salts. Mwah, mwah.
Mhm.
I just like love that was also again like like I guess the Cenobite goth is like either just another description for the demons, the cyber demon goth that was
Yeah.
earlier, or it's just another
No,
weirdo teen.
I'm not adding another character to the list. I'm assuming it's the same one.
Yeah, I'm assuming, yeah, because Cenobite is kind of on par with like a demon thing. So
Yeah.
and then yeah, so yeah, I figured that whole like situation of like where Kess was like kind of early on was probably like some kind of a dream state that she was in. Or that she had like kind of like similar in a similar fashion as to like how Ellery had like went to sleep and woke up to interact with the one girl that was a ghost that tried to warn her about Lolly like breaking into her house.
Yep.
So I kind of like got the picture that because it even had a similar vibe. Like I mean, we didn't really get a vibe on the sky in the previous one, but like it was like like endless fields of long grass and hillocks. And then there was like some, even with the thicket like that, like there's like that could have been like the oak tree and stuff like that.
Well, I thought it was a dream right away because the area that she was in morphed repeatedly.
That's true. Yeah, it was very it was very metamorphic, the environment. So yeah, it was I got the sense that it was like either some kind of like hellscape like that, again, one of those like liminal in between places that like demons and ghosts and stuff meet at. And then Kess, because she passed out, woke up with a pox stick in her mouth.
Yeah.
Found herself there. It's like, oh, so she's like obviously like having some kind of a vision here. But it was good to have like that kind of situation. Like again, the way it played out, I was like I was both confused, but then once I got to the end of the chapter, I was like, okay, this actually explains a lot. Like, all right, I'm down with this. This works. Because I liked the interactions. Although again, initially I was concerned that like, oh god, another plot point. But it did tie back around.
Yes. At the end of the day, it was a chapter where we learned several interesting things.
Yeah, again, much like Kess, we also learned several interesting things. Also, this whole like hellscape thing also kind of gave me like Coraline vibes too, in a way, just like the way. Again, this is sort of similar to what Ellery experienced again with the dead girl that she talked with in that other space. Just like that idea of like waking up in a dream and getting a warnings from somebody, or getting some plot narrative or some much needed exposition from someone through a dreamscape is very much in line with that kind of like a Neil Gaiman sort of narrative, or that sort of like Little Fears, or like that genre of like childhood nightmare sort of fiction. That honestly, like these stories tend to kind of like lean into. So, But yeah, and then we just like it ended off perfectly for me. Like she wakes up like with all these seeing all these like creatures like show up, and then like it turns out those are all just like people looking over her because she's unconscious, and then she gets a pitcher of iced tea like doused on her to wake her up, and then
Yep.
Meg shows up with smelling salts. It's like, why'd you do that? I had this. Yeah, no, I
He wanted
loved
to
it.
save her. He was
Yeah.
holding her hand earlier.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it's the same dorky, socially awkward cyber demon.
Was he dorky?
Not maybe not dorky, but just like that teen cyber demon kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone that has a mohawk is dorky, because I think he had a mohawk.
I actually beg to differ, sir. Most
Do you?
like,
You know some mohawk nerds?
I did. I knew a guy in high school that like rocked a major like mohawk, and was like very much in like his dress up was very much like a punk rocker kind of guy, but he was also the dorkiest man I ever knew.
Okay, never mind. I take back that statement.
Yeah, quite often that like people, at least from my personal experience, like the people that do that are using it as a way of like kind of bolstering their confidence. So
Yeah, fair.
but yeah, so that's all I've got for chapter 12. So Mikey, what do you got for chapter 12?
Well, I like that we get sort of a dream sequence with supernatural aspects to it.
Yeah, the story's definitely breaking the mold on that, isn't it? Like
mhm.
we've gotten several dream sequences that actually affect reality.
Yeah, true. Normally dreams are just like, oh, it's just a dream, never mind.
Yeah, especially since also this story, like the Shadow Fog and Firelight, and then like I think it was Down a Curious Road, or the one of the first Curtisville stories we ever read here on the show. They had dream sequences, and I remember you getting annoyed because they were falling into those like dream sequence tropes that you don't like, where like nothing really gets affected.
Mhm.
But yeah, the story is definitely like, we heard you in the past before you knew about us. let us rectify the sins of dream tropes.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, so I liked that aspect of it, and then we get also dragons, so that's a plus.
Yeah. Dragon. Gray man was a man. Maybe it was just a dragon man. Maybe it was just a dragon. But he's still Gray man. Dude. I will not be apologizing.
Nope. Anyone who knows that is old and welcome. You're welcome here anytime.
Anyway, that's all I have for this chapter.
Okay. Gamer.
Okay. My first one is just regarding like the dragon showing up to yell at all the demons while Kess is hiding.
Yeah.
First off, I'm surprised that they kind of forgot about her to like let her eavesdrop. I know they were concerned about Daddy yelling at them, but they just totally forgot that she was there.
Yeah,
like she ran away, but yeah.
Yeah, and she ran away when they were in the throes of like laughter and like dying. Like they were like rolling on the ground, practically laughing, and then that like cherub that one of them had won at the fair was just like, run.
Yes.
Which was also a really good like scene, or just like just having this like character just like, I can't leave, but you should run.
Oh no, he was in the middle of leaving because he let
he
go
was
of the
also
string.
saying,
He was flying away.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and then he just looked over to Kess. It's just like, you should also run.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
But also, I'm also kind of shocked that like Kess was able to think up so many like quips during like this near-death experience of this massive dragon that could kill her at any time.
I mean, she's been kind of quippy throughout the other stories.
Yeah, but she's also like a fraidy Kess, you know?
She is a Gurdon. She is an alien cat girl.
Mm-hmm. Because she is like scared a lot of the time. So if she passes out from seeing like a centipede and then this near-death experience with 4 demons, one of them being the size of a house, and she's just like quipping repeatedly.
Yeah, true.
It was fun, but it didn't seem on brand.
Or maybe this is like the start of her growth, because like again, I think she was older in the other stories that we've read of Kess. And so like this one, I think we see her at like one of her younger stages. So this could almost be like some character growth for her. Like she gets more quippy as she goes on. But like this is where she started like starting to develop more of like she started getting braver, I guess, or quippier as a coping mechanism for the fear.
Possibly. Yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. I just wanted to mention it.
Yeah, no worries.
And then you brought this up before in regards to like them needing to kill any intruders that pass and all that. And then it says like he's yelling, the dragon's yelling at them. It says it studied them for a few more minutes before continuing. Surely that isn't a very difficult order to follow. And then here I am again bringing this up for the umpteenth time, because I don't know how many times I've mentioned this. The minutes should be moments section of my notes, as I often do. Like it's happened multiple times throughout the story, but I haven't brought it up just because A, I'm tired of bringing it up, but B, I had to bring this one up just because the visual of it just made me laugh, of him like just staring at them, not saying a word after saying kill any intruders that pass through, be they human or animal. It studied them for a few more minutes, like staring at them, like put a timer for 3 minutes.
Like it's all super quiet, winds blowing through the hillocks.
Yeah.
And like grass is like whistling, and they're just like looking awkwardly at their dad, who's just like staring at them for like 3 minutes solid.
Yeah. And then finally going, surely that wasn't a very difficult order to follow.
Yeah, just abruptly, like one of them was about to talk, is like, Dad, you okay? Surely this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Simple fix for that is it should be moments. That's the way I always feel that these moments should be, using moments, because moments is a not definite amount of time, where minutes is a definite amount of time. I know that like a New York minute is just like a moment kind of deal.
Yeah.
And that's what it is most of the time. But yeah, if you view it as actually counting the seconds, then it's funny.
Man, this episode is just the episode of beating dead licorns.
Yeah.
Also, beating a dead licorn, name of my high school ska band.
Yeah, definitely.
The name of my French Canadian high school ska band. Because, again, licorn, French for unicorn.
Oh, I get it. You don't have to beat the dead horse about beating the dead horse.
Fair.
But yeah, that's all I got for notes.
Okay. Then on to kind of final thoughts. Next week, we swear we'll have a legit final thoughts segment. But yeah, so things are starting to like thread back together in this one, in these last 3 chapters. Though initially I was a little concerned when Ellery's storyline on the beach just got totally derailed. And like I don't know if we're gonna get that last part of her story as to why she hates why Lolly deserves curse and death.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it is sort of again through like the context we have so far. It is like we kind of know why like Lolly deserves it, or like why Ellery feels that she deserves it. But again, like we've kind of been saying throughout this, it does kind of feel like Lolly is as much a victim as other characters in the story.
Yeah, for sure.
But I honestly got a fair bit more captivated reading these last couple of chapters than I think the previous one. The previous one I was kind of getting worried because like things were just kind of meandering, and this one definitely seemed to hone in after that. So I am looking forward to seeing how this all plays out and how it ends. I desperately hope there's a payoff.
I just hope it ends. Like,
yeah,
it needs to have a conclusion.
I hope it has a proper conclusion. Okay, I can't say I'm sure it will, but like, because I haven't read it, but
one would expect though.
Yeah. But yeah, that's about it. Like, so like these last 3 definitely like got my attention more, and like seemed for me personally, it honed in the narrative a little bit more. Maybe just because we got a lot more information about like the situation at hand, and like from like outside observers, or from some other characters that are connected, but like not the main characters.
Mhm.
So yeah, I look forward to finishing this up next week. Mikey, these stands for evil.
Okay, so
Any parting words?
yes. So I liked that these chapters didn't overtly annoy me like the previous chapters with the school and whatnot. Um, so, and we get fantastical things happening. So it makes it much more interesting. Do we get any creepy stuff? Not really, just more
Yeah.
weird and fantastical.
Yeah, it's more like
Um,
I'd say like dark whimsy is like the closest we get, like because we are dealing with like a lot more fantastical elements, but like and there is some darkness in there, but it's not like creepy.
mhm. Yeah, so these these chapters uh, are hopefully building up to something that we
That's the
get in
hope.
the next two chapters.
That is indeed always the hope. Well, according to my
Um,
Google Doc that I have, we have another 14 pages of the story.
mhm. Yeah, so I'm hoping there's a payoff at the end at this point,
Yeah,
but as it stands overall, I think because we got more supernatural things going on, my recommendation has been bumped up to a regular partial.
wow. It's slowly climbing. Will it all come tumbling down in the last stretch?
Find out next time.
Find out next time on Dragon Dad Z.
Nice. No, Dragon Daddy.
Yeah. On Dragon Daddy.
God, that's so dumb. I apologize.
Never did. Hey, I'm the one that started it.
I'm willing to make a public apology for that.
But yeah, okay. Gamer, your final thoughts for the time being.
I mean, for the time being, it's kind of hard to say because we're at a pivotal moment where it's like the last couple of chapters could make or break this, depending on how it goes. Because for all we know, we'll get to the end and it'll be like to be continued.
I'd be like, no, especially since the story came
Holy
out.
crap! Yeah, because there's so much here
When did the story
already.
come out? I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope it doesn't do that because like the story. No, don't want that.
Don't scroll. Don't scroll.
Yeah, no. History. That's what I was looking for.
What?
I was just checking history. Yeah, the story came out in 2013-ish, roughly.
Mhm.
No, sorry. No, yeah, 2013 is when the story first came out, or when this was first like put on the wiki. So,
Yep.
yeah, I hope there's not a, like to be continued, or if there is, I guess we'll have to hopefully that story came out, but
We'll find out, but I'll reserve
yeah.
judgment until we're fully done here. But it's so far my recommendation has kind of been the same most of the way. It's like it's kind of hard to follow because how much it jumps around.
Yeah, it definitely like again like from the previous episode, like it was kind of meandering, and this one specifically, it kind of like it was jumping back and forth pretty rapidly.
Yeah, especially since like it's jumping back and forth between like time frames repeatedly to the point that like all the stuff that's in one time frame could just be all taken together and put into a story.
Yeah.
And then the next one put into a story.
Or
and then they'd all
chapters.
be
Sorry.
And then they'd all be more digestible or different chapters as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Because just the jumping back and forth is just it's kind of grinding my gears.
Yeah.
Granted, at least there's titles now telling you it's jumping back and forth, whereas early on it didn't.
Yeah, true. Like it really should have like if I feel like the author should maybe go back and like add in like make the rest of the story have like those scene titles
The transitions, yeah.
Those establishing scene like lines.
Yep.
Just to make the story more cohesive.
Because yeah, to have what's here, doing it in the way that the information is drip fed to us, this is the best that you can do for sure. By like titling it and mentioning it, being like, okay, we're here now. Continue. Now we're going to here. Continue. Like it's doing the best with what's got.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll see what I feel at the end. I'm not sure. So I guess that means partial for now.
Yeah, I'm withholding my final judgment till next week, but yeah, we'll find out next week how everything comes to a head. And that has been this week's episode. So if you like what you heard, or if you didn't, leave us a comment in the comment section below where this gets posted. Some of us are on Blue Sky. Mikey, for example, is at the E stands for evil, and I'm at Review Cultist. You can also send us emails at aldenterigamortis@gmail.com. That's ALDENTERIGAMORTIS@gmail.com, where you can also leave us suggestions for other creepypastas, SCPs, spooky things. You creep it, we'll peep it. Yeah. And if you'd like to help support our show financially, you can go to Patreon. We have special episodes, early access, and extra content. To all our patrons helping support the show, thank you immensely. You're helping keep those hosting bills at bay. And as always, we very much appreciate that. And to our listeners and the authors of these stories, thank you immensely. Because without your listenership, you're like screaming into the void. And without your authorship, writing and posting these stories online, we really wouldn't have much of a show because we'd have nothing to talk about. So thank you. Now's a good time to mention that we are a part of a podcast network, Crit in the Night, an actual play and creepypasta podcasting network. We're there alongside our sister podcast, One Less Die, and our cousin podcast, The Role Playing Exchange, for things that go crit in the night. Until next time, I have been your host, Review Cultist.
I'm Mikey, the E stands for evil.
And I'm the gamer in yellow.
This has been Al Dente Rigamortis. Sleep well.